Hi, so today I'm continuing with our little modes thing. I've done a few things on modes. So I'm just going to put this here, slide across, and we are up to kettle mode. Now, kettle mode is, if I was going to boil a kettle, I would boil a kettle, okay? But kettle mode is really good when it comes to if you've got people who like different, herbal teas. Not that I'm fussy about this at all, but some people, a herbal tea is not necessarily meant to be at boiling point. So if you don't have a fancy kettle, you've got the options of 95 degrees, 90 degrees, 85 degrees, whatever it is. Okay, so that's a really good thing if you've got people who are particular about their herbal teas. All right, so what I'm going to use it for, though, is poaching an egg, to show you how that does. And the great thing about this is you poach an egg at 100 degrees, so boiling point. So I am going to use my blade cover. So I'm going to pop that in first. And all you do with your blade cover is cover your blades. There it is. Okay. Now, I'm going to cheat a little bit. Well, it's not cheating, really. It's just a time-saving thing. I'm going to just pop my kettle onto boil. It did boil just before, so it won't take long. And just a general rule, if you use boiling water, if you're doing any steaming or anything like that with your varoma, and it asks for water, if you start off with boiling water, you can cut about 5 minutes off the cooking time, all right? And this just, because actually in the poached egg recipe, it says it takes 15 to 18 minutes to heat up. Well, I've just done it in the kettle in, a couple of minutes. But what I do have to do first is get off that screen and find some scales. So I'm going to put 1,700 grams of water, I'm putting boiling water, as I said. It has to be 1,400. I'm not boiling another one. Okay, I thought I was pretty close. And 50 grams of white vinegar. A little bit more white vinegar. All right. Now I've just poured cold water in. I've got to get that back up to temperature. So I'm going back to my kettle mode. It's on 70. So I'm just going to, here is set for 100. I'm just going to turn it on and we will let it get up to 100 degrees. All right. Now, whilst waiting for that, eggs in your Thermomix. Obviously, we have the egg boiler mode, which is amazing. So if you want to have a soft boiled egg, I'm not really into soft eggs. So I don't do them for breakfast like that, but a hard boiled egg, I would do it in here any day of the week. But if you're someone who loves your soft boiled eggs for breakfast, all you need to do is go into your egg boiler mode and probably come out, put that on, go and have a shower, come back, and your eggs will be ready for you. The other sort of eggs you can do in here, there's a really fabulous one. I was talking with a friend today, and I forgot its name, pink scramble. So you can actually scramble your eggs, and the pink scramble it's this colour, and it has beetroot in it. It's actually really delicious. And you can also, here we go, 85 degrees. You can also do omelettes in here. And the way you do an omelette is you line the tray of your varoma with paper that you've wet, and you wring it out and you put it on there and you make sure it's got little sides, and you beat up your eggs and you pop them in there, and it makes an omelette. And there's various omelettes on Cookie Dough. There's actually a really delicious, I think it's a hot smoked salmon omelette as well, which is fantastic. So there are lots of different ways you can do eggs, but with the kettle mode, that gets us up to temperature for our poached eggs. 98 degrees, 2 degrees to go. 100. So we'll just wait for it to stop. Then I'm going to the home screen and I'm going to set 3 minutes, because that's the poaching time. All right, I'm taking the measuring cup out. I've got to set it back at 100. Whoops, 100 degrees. Okay, and we want it on reverse because we don't want that egg chopped up. and it's going to go into speed 1. And then my egg in here, I'm just going to drop it in through the top. Steaming me up. All right, and then we're just going to wait for it to cook. And once it's cooked, I'm going to get it out with a slotted spoon. I'm going to pop it on the tray so you can drain it. So I think it's 2 eggs you can do at a time if you want to. But I only need 1 this afternoon. And you can keep them warm in a thermoserver. I think, you know, you can make hollandaise sauce to have. You can do your whole eggs Benedict thing. If you do that, you either got to make your hollandaise first and keep it warm, or your eggs first and keep them warm. But it's a sensational hollandaise. It's a fantastic breakfast. Just going to grab my slotted spoon. 2 minutes to go. And every time I look in there, I just get fogged up. So I think that's, the only other thing about eggs, whilst we're talking about eggs, is egg whites. I was talking to someone yesterday and said, oh, you know, I really haven't, I just use another egg beater for my egg whites. You can absolutely do fantastic egg whites in here. What you need to do first, though, is a vinegar wash. The bowl needs to be 100% free of grease, and it may look free of grease, but until you've done a vinegar wash, you don't actually know. So vinegar wash is like 1 litre of water. Again, you know, your 50 grams of white vinegar, aroma temperature for about 10 minutes, and that's going to actually clean it. But when you're doing that, remember to put your butterfly in as well, because your butterfly needs to be free of grease too. So that's your vinegar wash, the egg whites, and 55 seconds. And that will create, you know, fantastic egg whites. If you're then going on to make a pad, the key thing with that is you just push the sugar in very, very, very slowly. Okay. I've seen some amazing pads. I'm not a big meringue person, but I have seen them, and I've definitely whipped egg whites in here and had great success. So it's just a question of giving it a go. Some people go, oh, you know, people say it's no good, but actually it works really well. So just do the vinegar wash. We're just about to cool down for 17 seconds, and we'll hope our egg's looking good. All right. Get my trusty slotted spoon ready. Ooh, I think we've done well here. We have. A little poached egg sack. Okay, so you can see how it's been dropped in, and that's gone bottom first. But here we are. They are sometimes a little bit tidier than that, with the with this sort of swirled around the top a bit more. In fact, that was speed 1. So the recipe actually says speed 0.5, and I did try that earlier. I have a confession, and it just did not work at all. I reckon you could go probably speed 1.5 or 2 to make sure that everything stays together really well. But I'm not too unhappy with that one. So poaching eggs using kettle mode to get your water to temperature in the Thermomix. Actually, whilst we're on this, I might do one more mode whilst we're here. So the next mode is warm-up mode, all right? And warm-up mode is fantastic for things like heating your soup, you know, your casseroles, that sort of thing. You can absolutely heat it in here. Now, just a couple of things I need to tell you about this one. Oops. All right. So you set your temperature on here. We're obviously a bit hotter than 65. I tend to, it's a soup, I'll put it on about 80. I don't want my soup to be boiling, but I want it to be hot. And then looking at this side, let's put the lid on. Get upset with me. When you hit that one, you have a choice of 3 settings. You've got speed stir, you've got speed 1 and speed 2. Now, if I had a chunky soup, I would do speed stir because I don't want to break up those chunks. If I had like a pumpkin soup that was all, you know, one thing, I didn't have to worry about bits in it or anything, then I would absolutely turn it on to speed 2. So I'm sure you can work this out yourselves, but when it's on speed 2, it's going to heat up quicker than when it's on speed 0. Oh, it's on speed half, sorry. But the beauty of it is you can be off doing something else whilst it's heating up for you, and you come back and your soup or your casserole or whatever it is done. Okay, so we've done kettle mode and warm-up mode, and we've got thicken and rice cooker next. So that'll be for another, well, next week sometime. All right.